Hey everyone, welcome back to You Be the Judge. We are your host Charlie, aka Tuki, and my co-host
Geometric bananas.
is a podcast where we discuss other people's drama, and you must defend the party you're assigned to the best of your ability, and you will be assigned to it through a coin flip. But today's episode is a little different. We got an awesome friend of ours joining us today. She's gonna be my major, my debater today,
Because we're celebrating our 10th episode.
celebrating our 10th episode. It's gonna be
Oh,
Miss
Yes.
Rachel Lip Lip Lackey Lip. What is it now?
Lip Nicky.
Lip
Hi.
Nicky.
Um.
If you go ahead, introduce yourself.
Oh, hi. Sorry, I couldn't hear Tuki anymore
I
randomly.
told you. See?
Yeah.
It's your
What?
computer.
It is not my
You-
computer.
I see. I couldn't hear him either, but I was
No,
thinking
he
like,
dropped
okay,
out.
it's just me. But like, okay.
I thought it
Okay,
was just
maybe
me.
there-
I was like, am I there still?
See?
Okay,
It's you.
maybe I should look into something about what's going on here with my headset, or maybe even get it wired in. I'm not sure what's going on. Or
I
why
don't
that
think it's your
happens.
headset. I think it's your computer.
My computer's a beast. Leave my computer alone.
You know what? Let's focus on our guest here.
Go for
Hi.
it.
Hi.
So
What do you
you'll
want
know
me to-
Rachel. She's part of the Coven
Yeah.
from
Janky Town.
Jankytown. Also a
Yeah.
longtime Kevin and Bean listener.
Yes.
So if
yes.
anybody here is a Kevin and Bean listener, Rachel's the one that they had her taste the pickle smoothie.
Yeah.
Like they had her do a bunch of things because she was just like, I'll do it for you guys.
Yeah. I called
You
in
tasted
about
the
how
pickle
much.
smoothie?
Yeah.
Yeah, the pickle sludge.
Yeah,
that
there
they
you go,
had
the pickle
on it.
slush.
Mhm.
What was that like?
It was awful. It was terrible. It was very salty, which it was gross. Ugh. And I also called in talking about how much money I've spent on Pokemon Go.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Oh, that's
also
right,
my
Pokemon
claim to
Go.
Yep.
fame. Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
Yes.
And I'm a little nervous about debating with you because you're a doctor, and I'm, on the opposite end of the spectrum. I'm on the ADHD side, so I'm on the special needs class compared to you. But this is going to be interesting. And I'm really excited about this.
Yes, I'm excited too. I do think that does give me a little bit of an advantage because as a psychologist, I do have to take other perspectives, but I also, as you
Yes.
guys know, have very strong opinions about things. So
See, that's why
You?
that.
No, I don't believe that one bit.
very opinionated.
But this is
So-
why I love her because she's just like, look, I don't care if I'm a doctor. I'm gonna say how I feel.
That is correct.
So the way this is going to work is going to be Geometric Banana is going to be the moderator.
Yep.
She's going to be in charge of the coin flip, so we don't have to worry about me dropping the coin anymore. She's going to be in charge of the timer.
That reminds me, let me get the coin.
I
Great.
told you to grab the coin earlier.
You know what?
Have we
When you out once
abandoned
at a time.
the virtual one entirely?
No, yeah, she got rid of the virtual one. She made me get rid of that thing.
Why?
Instead, she gave me a toy to play with while we're doing our
It
podcast.
is not a toy, it is a
It
coin.
is
She gave you a
toy.
fidget toy?
A fidget toy, yeah.
Great.
It is a tool that we use for our podcast.
Oh.
Yes, a coin.
Yeah.
No, that one's for a different day.
There.
There we
Kids
go.
listen to
Tested works. Okay, so let's go ahead and start it with the first. Sorry, you want to go ahead and take it away,
Do you
Rachel?
want me to read
Go
it
ahead,
first?
Yeah, read the title first and then read the story.
Okay. Am I the a-hole for telling my sister I will only watch her kids if she pays me? That's what we're doing first, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right, here we go. A few years ago, I was going away to a conference, so I asked my sister if she could watch my dogs while I was away. She said she would do it if I paid her, so I hired a service instead. Yes, I could have paid her, but it would have required me to go pick up her unemployed ass from my parents' house and let her stay at my house eating my food and drinking my booze. The service came in, fed, and walked my dogs. These people, they can't write. Okay.
Okay, so it's not just us.
No.
It's good to know that it's not just us.
Okay.
And she's a doctor, so that makes me feel a lot better.
They can't. Anyway, okay, moving on. When I moved out of our parents' home, my friends all helped me out. But not her. She was busy doing schoolwork. But then she would take a break if I paid her for her time. She was watching TV. When she moved in with her boyfriend, now husband, I helped her out. She never even bought pizza and beer. Never. She is an amateur photographer, but pretty great, to be honest. When I got married, it was a small thing in my parents' backyard. To save money, I did everything with friends and family. My aunt lent me her wedding dress, and one of my friends made the cake. Everyone pitched in to decorate and set up and clean up. I asked if she could take the wedding pictures. She said only if I paid. So I got a bunch of disposable cameras and used these for the candid shots and paid a photographer for the ceremony and formals only. I now make enough money that I can afford to make my life easier by just paying for whatever I need. And this is what I do now for most stuff. I still do favors for friends, and they often return them. My sister, who wanted to get paid to sit in my house and watch TV so my dogs were okay, ended up with a nice guy and getting married. She called me last week and asked if I could watch her kids so they could go on vacation. Her husband's parents got sick and ours moved to Florida. So I said I would if she paid me. She can afford it. But now it's all about how family helps each other out. I remind her of all the times I asked her for help and she said I was being petty and vindictive. She tried getting my parents on her side, but they told her that she had set the ground rules for our relationship. Now she is on social media trying to get her friends to make me feel guilty about not helping family, quote unquote. I should probably not have responded, but I did, saying that her friends were also available to help her out for free. But I guess she burned a few bridges there too, and some of them called her out for always wanting to be paid for a favor. It's become a huge mess. So she edited it, or sorry, I didn't mean to assume I don't know. Okay, so this person edited this and said, so yes, I did ask my sister to take pictures for free at my wedding. The entire out-of-pocket cost for my wedding came to about $4,000. That includes the $1,500 I paid for the photographer for 2.5 hours of their time and the proofs. My sister wanted $2,000. Also, my husband did all the wiring in my sister's family room for free. That was 2 days of professional electrician working for free. So not to be transactional about it, but yeah, once again, no beer or pizza. I love that sticking point.
That's like that's
That's like her
currency.
point.
Yes, yeah. No, again, no beer or pizza. Again, okay.
That's more important than the money, okay?
Yes,
Absolutely.
right. That is money practically.
Exactly.
When he did it for a friend, they fed him, gave him steak, and then surprised him with a very nice bottle of scotch. Oh my gosh. Okay.
See, that's even better than the pizza and beer.
That's very nice.
Yep.
That's nice.
Big time. Wow.
That's it.
Okay. This one's going to be fun. So, moderator,
Yep, I am
would
getting.
you do the honors?
Okay, so you each have 2 minutes for your opening. Hold on, I got my.
And then after that, we try to kill each other.
Yep. Okay, ready and go.
Wait.
Hey, I don't know what I'm doing.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Wow.
We're like,
I'm not
Everybody,
used to these. I'm not used to these duties. Hold on.
Listeners, this is our 10th episode.
Okay. So the reader was Rachel. So Rachel gets tails. So she is defending.
Not the poster. So
Not the
she's
poster. So the sister.
You're defending the sister.
It's
It's not so easy, is it?
no.
Okay,
Okay.
you call the clock, so you're moderator.
Okay,
Wait, who's
ready?
going first?
You're going first because you
go
read
first,
the
'cause
story.
you read.
Oh, okay.
Ready and go.
All right. So, I have to think. All right. So, I think all this comes down to is what you do for family. So, yeah, it's one thing if, you're being asked to watch a dog, whatever. That's a dog. I know people say they're like children, but they're not. It's a dog. And, asking about like photography, I don't know. It's these things, it's like, yeah, maybe it would be nice for her to do that as the sister, but it's not like, I don't know. It's not make it or break it, I guess. But when it comes down to family, I would expect that you can kind of put that stuff aside and say, you know what, maybe you wouldn't watch my dog, maybe you were strapped for cash and wanted money for that, but these are my nieces and nephews. I would think that there's a little bit more of a leeway there to do that because it is part of your family. And not only is it your sister, it's your little nieces and nephews that you, yeah, I don't know, you want to spend some time with, you want to watch them, you want to do them a solid. That's all I got.
All right. All right. Well, the way I see it is, the sister had already set the grounds for the relationship that they built from since they were younger. I mean, the parents, even the parents, were on the poster side because they both said, you established this relationship with your sister, so this is what you guys have as a basis for your relationship. You know, they charged her. She wanted to charge for wedding pictures. She wanted to charge to watch a dog, which, quite frankly, it's not even much work. All she has to do is just literally sit around and just feed the dog. That's all she has got to really do with the dog. And she wanted to charge for that. And she didn't even help her move. I've helped my cousins move. I've helped my family move all the time. Never charged a dime. Never even expected a meal. Actually, a few of those times I didn't even get a meal. But it's just like you said, you do this for your family. So I don't think it is being petty. It's just giving her a taste of her own medicine, which I guess in a sense can be called petty. But in order for you to truly understand what the other person is going through, is you have to actually go through it to be able to feel it.
So that's the thing. You said it's all about family, and I think like a big sticking point here is that the poster is really upset that, you know, the sister's asking for money to do these things, and then the poster's turning around and doing the exact same thing that she or he didn't like that the sister was doing. So while maybe you could argue that that's establishing the grounds of the relationship, it's like, I don't know, if that's something that you didn't like that your sister was doing that, then wouldn't you want to be the bigger person and kind of rise above that and be like setting an example that maybe your sister could model off of?
Oh, absolutely.
Because
not.
after
I'm petty
all,
too.
it does come down. It does come down to family, you know. As you would expect that your sister was doing that because you're family, and if family's so important to you, then you would do the same thing. You're sort of like, I don't know, contradicting your own principles in a sense.
In a sense, but if the poster's husband even went as far as like fixing all their electrical work and doing all this electrician work for free for them, and they couldn't even show the appreciation by even providing a meal. I mean, to the point where she went, how petty is it to go out of your way to actually post it on social media? And when you go on social media, her own friends called her out on the same thing for doing the same thing. Her own friends she burnt that relationship with her friends for the exact same reason, for not being just a decent human being.
Not even pizza and beer.
Not even pizza and beer.
How much time left?
You still have 7 minutes to go.
But
7 minutes to go?
Yes.
Oh
Yeah,
my
6.
god.
But you have the opportunity to throw in the towel.
Yeah, you could tap out it if you wanted to.
You are telling me we've only been doing this for 3 minutes?
Yep.
We've been doing this. We've been going for 4 minutes 47 seconds.
It feels like an eternity.
My
Okay.
my timer says 3 minutes and 58 seconds.
When did you start it? Because I started as soon as she started talking.
So did I.
Well, then your watch is wrong.
Why are you even timing it? You're not
Because
the
I don't
moderator.
trust you. I don't trust you.
You are not the moderator. You are eating into both of your and her time.
You had to start without even flipping a coin.
Look, I'm going to be honest, I don't have a lot to say here, so that's just fine.
You're like, no. Go ahead, keep arguing.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Okay, so she's
I'm just
throwing
good.
in the towel
I
here,
can't.
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Can I say
Alright.
what I'm really thinking?
Yeah,
Yeah, go for
you
it. This is
started.
where
You read, so you start.
So
Yeah.
I think the point that I pulled out of my butt that I do think there's something to that of like, you know, a matter of principle, and if this is something that's important to you, then like you would just to be consistent in what you, I don't know, believe, but ultimately, no, this is ridiculous. I would probably do the exact same thing because a kid's more work than a dog or electricity or, you know,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, 100%.
Not the a-hole, in my opinion.
Yeah, I feel the exact same way. I feel she's not in the wrong because, you know, she set the pretenses of what the relationship is going to be from a very young age.
Yes.
And it's not going as far as like early youth. It's like you're going early enough to where just taking pictures at a wedding. They're not. I don't think it mentions anything about their age here, but I
It
mean,
doesn't.
but they are not too far in age because they're both married now, and I'm looking at it this as you were wanted to charge for the cameras. Like I have a cousin who's a photographer, and when she's offered to do photography things for us for free, and
Hmm.
and that's what family is. But the fact that she wanted to charge for every little thing, and to the point where even her own friends pretty much have disowned her for the exact same thing,
Yes, I know.
I say the poster is not in the wrong.
No, I agree. It's a pattern, and yeah, to for the sister to kind of flip it on them, like to be expecting all these doing these things for payment, and then when she has the audacity to ask the exact same thing and they say the same for her to get mad about it, it's like,
Hmm.
nah, can't do that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Moderator.
I am a like I said before in the last episode, I'm kind of a softie for family. This is exactly why when it's family or friends, I never do business. If they ask me to do something, I will not charge just to avoid things like this. If they offer, then okay, I'll take it, whatever they offer. But I will not charge just to avoid I'd rather keep my relationships intact than to have drama like this. So, me personally, I wouldn't be the type to where I'd say, okay, well, no, I'm not going to do this for you, especially if it's about my nieces and nephews.
Yeah.
Because I have 5 nieces, and all of them, I see them as my own. So, if my brother tells me, hey, I need you to do this, I'm 100% going to do it. Nothing means more to me than family. And I have cousins who have kids, and if they ask me to watch their kids, I'll do it for them because that's what family does. I don't care what you've done to me. If it's about my nieces or nephews, I will do it for you. But that's how I am. Just because I'd rather avoid confrontation. I hate confrontation. That's just how I am as a person though.
So
That's
you
the
side
point.
against the poster.
I
Yeah,
think I think everyone sucks here.
that's
Everyone
the
sucks
point I
here.
was trying to make. That you just articulated it so much better than me.
Yeah. Everyone sucks here.
Yeah, I mean, but coming from somebody who, like myself, who does not have kids, and I have one niece, I would never ask for money to watch them. I just probably wouldn't do
Mhm.
it because I don't want to. But I don't want to take care of any kid. But I think if like my brother was the type of person that was always asking for money, always trying to do like wouldn't do any favors for me unless I paid him, and then he came back around to ask me to do a favor, I'd be so petty about it. I'd be right
Yeah.
there like, yeah, if you pay me. Does that sound familiar? So,
Yeah,
but
and
that's
it
me.
says here that the sisters now has enough money to actually have paid her too. So
Mhm.
so they're both in a very well spot financially.
I can
Okay,
see your
so
side though, Diamond. But
Yeah, but that's like I said, that's just how I am as a person. Just because I hate confrontation, so I would just what I would do
yeah,
though, I am petty in the sense of I would say yes, I'll watch your kids, and then later on down the line, if I needed something, I would be like, hey, you know what? I did this for you
yes,
when
hmm,
you were in a bind, so you can
yeah,
do this thing for me.
that's yes.
that's true.
Then you run the
That's a
risk that they won't do it, and then you have resentment because you did something for nothing, basically.
Mhm. Yeah. But then that at that point I would be able to say, well then you know what, if you're not willing to do this for me even after I've done this for you, then I'm going to say no. That way it'll be easier for me to say no rather
Sure.
than just be right off the bat, no, I'm not going to do this for you.
okay. So you went from not being petty to causing out a full blown family drama. Okay, nice.
Keep it score.
So hold it in until it's time to explode, is what you're saying. Listeners, do not do this. That's a bad idea.
You don't know, man. You don't know.
All right, let's go ahead and move on to the next story. I'm going to go ahead and be reading this one. This is Am I the Wrong for telling my daughter if she doesn't like living with her sister, she can move out. I have two daughters, Chloe, female 23-year-old, and Lorna, female 19-year-old. My husband and I are fortunate enough to own two properties. We own our primary home where we live in a rural neighborhood and a small two-bedroom apartment in the city that's around a 3-hour drive away. We purchased our apartment around 5 years ago with the original intention of using it to have a spontaneous weekend getaways. However, 2 years ago, Chloe got accepted into a university that was in that city. We decided to let Chloe stay in the apartment, and we'd pay all the utilities. Chloe is still staying in the apartment and has another 2 years left of her degree. This year, Lorna got accepted into the same university, and she asked us if she could stay in the apartment with Chloe. We didn't see why not, and informed Chloe that her sister was going to be joining her. Chloe was really angry and said we would blah, blah, blah. I was off to a good start here too.
You're doing good.
Chloe, Chloe was really angry and said that we should have asked her if it was okay, and said that she needs her own space. We reminded Chloe that they'll be able to have their own bedrooms and that it's only a temporary arrangement until she graduates and finds a job. Chloe told us that it's not the point. She said that she already uses the spare bedroom as her study room and that she doesn't want to live with Lorna. She said that Lorna is annoying and that she likes living on her own. My husband reminded Chloe that she is staying in the apartment for free and that Lorna has just as much of a right to be there as she does, and they can figure out on their own how to not get on each other's nerves. Lorna moved in at the start of the semester around 2 months ago. At first, it seemed to be going well. I regularly check up on both Chloe and Lorna, and they didn't mention any problems. Last week, Chloe called me and demanded that I kick Lorna out. She said that she can't stand living with Lorna anymore and that she needs to have her own place. I asked Chloe what's going on, and she described being very petty problems, such as Lorna's room being being messy, and not having a study room, not being able to play the TV loud at night, etc. I told Chloe that that's the reality of living with other people and that she needs to learn how to compromise and that we aren't kicking out Lorna. Chloe protested and said that she was living there first and implied that Lorna should live in dorms because she's younger. She kept talking over me and shouting into the phone when I was trying to explain that would be unreasonable. I eventually lost my temper and told Chloe that if she doesn't like it, she can move out and pay rent and bills elsewhere. Chloe started crying and said that I should be more understanding and then hung up the phone. My husband thinks that Chloe is just acting like a brat and that we shouldn't entertain it, and that my response was fine. But Chloe has been ignoring my calls and my texts and is clearly upset by my comment, so I'm wondering if I was in the wrong. Am I in the wrong? Whew. Wow. I'm scared about this coin flip, but
Okay, let's
Go
see
ahead.
what it is. Tuki, you got heads.
I got it. Really?
Right.
Yeah.
So what's on what's on you?
Poor
I was like so
Rachel.
nervous.
Are you kidding me?
Oh my god. The
Wait,
funny thing is,
I have to defend the
Chloe.
brat.
You got to
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Great.
It's hard, huh?
This is a great.
There's been so many times.
By the way.
You know what the funny thing is? We've done like mock debates, me and her, where we actually flip the coin and just kind of test the system. And there was one night where we tested at least like 10 or 15 stories, just like just to run tests on them. And I got all the ones that were just like horrible.
Yep.
I'm like, I went as far as like checking the coin. I'm like, okay, what are you doing here? Like, what's going on?
You're like, are you heads? Are you tails?
Yeah.
What are you?
I like woke up in the middle of the night from a nightmare. I got tails. I got tails.
Oh lordy.
Okay. So you want to go ahead and start the timer so I can start my 2-minute defense?
I will start the timer. I will start the timer.
Your timer is about as off as your math is.
You know what? You need to shut your mouth, sir, and focus on your argument. I am the moderator. You get to moderate the next guest we have,
Oh yeah. Okay.
which will be Kelly, by the way.
Oh,
Yes.
Oh, that'll be you with debating with her.
I know, and I know she's gonna even if I have the obvious winner, she's still gonna find a way to beat me. That's just how Kelly
Oh
is.
yeah, she's got some sass to her.
I love Kelly though. Kelly, I love you.
I love you.
Yeah, she's awesome.
We all love you. Okay, ready
Hmm.
and go.
I rest my case. I'm kidding. Okay,
I was
so
gonna say, you're really gonna turn over to me that quickly? I do.
so I don't think the mom's definitely not in the wrong here, right? Because the one, it is her property. Let's start off with the legality of it. It's her property. So the fact that the daughter thinks that she's entitled to the house more than her sister is just bonkers, right? Because she's got two daughters, 50-50. 50% to one child, 50% to the other child. And Chloe just got way too comfortable. And let's be honest, the only reason she probably doesn't really want her sister there is either she's got a guy over, or two, she's doing drugs and doing things that she shouldn't be doing, that she knows that her sister is going to be reporting to parents. So that's definitely one of the...
Those are the only two options.
There's the only two options, because I know that if I was living on my own at that age, the house would the house would be called on the weekend, especially me, exactly. So I can't think of any other reason why Chloe would not want her sister staying there other than killing the vibe.
I'm writing that down. Killing the vibe. Is it my turn?
Yep.
Go for it.
Okay, so thinking back to my days in college, back in the good old days in college.
2 years ago, right? 2 years ago.
No, I've spent like half of my freaking life in college. Anyway, so sure, the parents own the house. You address the legality of it. But I think the first point I want to make is that, Chloe has been living there. It sounds like she's apparently very studious. She has a study room that she just can't be taken away from her. And a lot of people, when they study, they need their own space. They need their quiet time. They need a certain environment in order to be productive with their studying. I'm sure, Chuki, with your ADHD, you can speak to this a little bit, that there's sometimes
yes.
when there's messiness going on around you, or there's a lot of things happening, it can be really distracting and not very conducive to studying. So, and also, when things change up on you, it can be really derailing. It can hard to shift back to what you're doing. Not that I'm saying this girl has ADHD, but that can be true for people without ADHD as well. Anyway, It can really harsh the vibe, And so for the parents to just kind of come in and say, this is what's happening, we're not going to have a conversation about it, she's just moving in with you, that can be really disruptive. And although technically they legally have the right to, I guess, determine what is happening with the house, I think it would probably have been more beneficial to have more of a conversation about it, or maybe not asking her for permission, but sort of a softer way of talking about this, or discussing it. So it's not really them directing her and saying, this is what's happening, deal with it, get over it. And for the solution that they said, if you don't like it, you can just move out. Well, she's a college student. I know when I was a college student, I was so busy that I didn't really have time to work. And if I did have a job, it wasn't making a lot of money. I don't know where they live, but if it's in Southern California, for example, rent here is super expensive. And so the thought of this girl having to take time out for her studying, try to find a job, do all this stuff to just move out and pay for her own rent that she might not be able to afford, it's just a lot. So I can understand when faced with that and having the feeling that your parents are not supporting you in that way and just sort of telling you get over it, deal with it, that can be really stressful and upsetting.
You made some really valid points there.
Thank you.
I
I
will
was
say,
gonna say, oh, I can't wait to hear your argument.
I will say though, as far as the whole letting her know ahead of time, right? She's going to the same school as her. It's two people living in this house. You got a 2-bedroom, you got 1 kitchen. If there's a study time, I mean, you have your room, set up your desk. She's got her room. She sets up her desk. You're in each other. You got some headphones. Put some music on. Plug it in, and call it a day as far as studying. Right? Like right now, I'm studying for a couple things that I'm working on. I'm working on myself as well. And I'm going as far as actually looking for a local library just to step out and find myself a situation in which I can study. Now they're at a university. There is no reason they should not have access to this library. So if it comes to, it's too much of a burden because she's distracting her too much at home, well then go to the library, right? Life throws curveballs at you every day. It's how you adjust, the mentality you approach these situations that's ultimately going to determine the outcome of the whole thing. So, if crap, I lost my train of thought. Okay, ultimately, if you will look at something always in a negative way, all you're ever going to do is ruin your own self. You're gonna ruin your own mentality. You're gonna ruin your own vibe, your own whatever zone you're in as far as studying goes. So, my answer to that is go to the library. If you don't like being in the same house as your sister when you're trying to study because she's being too loud, she got the TV on loud, whatever the case may be, go to the library. You're at a university, and that applies to both the daughters, not just one. That's how I feel about both of them because they have access to those libraries, and they are sisters. So. Secondly, as we discussed in the previous topic, family's family. So they got, instead of looking at it as a negative and looking at each other's nuances of what, they're annoyed by, why not say, hey, look, you're in class, I'm in class, why don't we help each other out?
So, I will say, when's the last time you've been in a library? Because...
The last time I've been in a library?
Yes.
I want to say probably about 5 years ago.
Okay. So, yes, they are quiet and there's a lot of people studying in there, but there's still like a lot of stimulation happening for a quiet environment. There's a lot of people walking around. There's just like a lot of things happening. There's like computers. There's books everywhere.
I knew you were gonna say books.
Everything.
So she's distracted by the books.
Distracted
by the books. Okay, that's where we're going.
So it can be very overstimulating. Even if you are going there and it's quiet, especially if it's not an environment that you're comfortable in or you're not familiar with it, just like being outside of your usual like study place can be very distracting in and of itself. And you technically are not supposed to study in the same place that you sleep because that's not good for your sleep. So I know you said throw the room out there, but really for like good sleep hygiene and getting like adequate sleep, you really should not be using your bedroom for anything other than sleeping and other fun times. But so that really only leaves, for her to be like, to get a good study routine down, that leaves the study room, which that sounds like the perfect place that apparently she can't use because her sister's living there, and the living room, which that can be very distracting if it's a shared place. It seems like this really like threw a wrench in her whole setup that she had, and maybe that may be impacting her academically. We don't know. They didn't get into that. Maybe her grades are suffering because she hasn't been able to set up the same type of study habits. We don't know. They didn't get into that. That's all speculation. But that's important to keep in mind.
It's funny you mentioned the overstimulation part because as someone from an ADHD person, I definitely understand with the whole overstimulation part. The books part, I don't get distracted by non-moving objects. So that's just me personally, right?
But there's a lot of books. A lot of books.
I mean, honestly, so. It is a library.
Have you been to a library? There's a lot.
I've been to several libraries, and there's a lot of books. You're right. It wouldn't be a library if they didn't have them.
That
the
is
funny,
a great point.
but the thing is, the way I see it is, I think the real reason is that she doesn't want her sister there is because of the interruption of overstimulation that she's going to be receiving.
Sorry, I zoned out. Freaking amazing. Oh no.
Okay,
Oh no.
it's not
Oh,
just
no.
me,
Oh,
right?
no.
He cut
yeah,
out.
no, I could hear him like I couldn't hear what he was saying, but he sounded like he just jumped like 5 rooms away. He was like way in the background. Oh my
See,
god!
it's
Like he's
now
talking.
we can hear you.
Okay,
Oh,
okay.
now
so,
you're back. You're back. You're back.
all right, so I'll continue where I left off. So what I was saying is that the reason why the sister doesn't want her there is because maybe she feels her sister is going to be interrupting the overstimulation that she was already receiving before she was in that room with her.
What? I'm just kidding. Can I throw out another point actually? That I
Sure,
just
go
thought
for
of?
it.
And we will end on your point because we are at the time.
Have we? Okay, so she's complaining about like petty stuff with Lorna, like, oh, she's messy, da da da, whatever. But maybe Lorna is just a straight up nightmare. We don't know. We don't know what the relationship was like. We don't know if they didn't get along before this. Like, if they have a history of having a very contentious relationship as sisters, that could be an issue of her just all of a sudden coming into her space. Because even if it's not a house that she's paying for, an apartment that she's paying rent for, that is still like her space temporarily. And for somebody that you don't get along with really well, even if it's your sister and just like lives very differently than you, for them to intrude on that, that can really be an issue. Like, I know plenty of people during college who they went in living together as roommates, and even they went in getting along really well, that relationship just completely fell apart because they were so incompatible as roommates. And so, you know, whatever that relationship was like beforehand is something that I think could potentially provide some context to the situation to help us understand if like what the problem is here, because that could be a factor as well, but we just don't know.
That's a very good point. That's a very good point. I hadn't considered that.
Thank you.
That's a really, really good point. How's the timer?
Yeah, I was gonna say we have to end on her point because the time is up.
With that
Okay.
being said, I do not support Chloe at all. I think she's a complete brat. You're not. That's like you're not. Oh my god. Anyway.
Yeah, she's a little too entitled, right? Way too entitled. So to the poster, I absolutely don't think you're in the wrong at all.
No.
I think you got a very spoiled brat of a child who maybe you never said enough no's to, and now it's showing.
And
That's
when I read this story, I initially was kind of like, when I saw the parents were just like, she's living there now, that had me initially kind of be like, ooh, because I could see that being a problem just for all the reasons I sort of described. And I
Yeah.
was kind of like, okay, I can kind of see where she's coming from. But then when she started complaining about her room's messy, that she doesn't even go into, and my study room, like, you don't need a study room. Just
Yeah.
study on your couch. Go to the
Exactly.
library, like you said.
But not in the bedroom, right? Though, because that's
Being like, I can't play TV loud at night. It's like, why do you need to do that anyway? You're studying.
yeah. If you're
So-
studying, what do you need the TV for?
Right. I didn't even address what you said about the drugs or the men. I forgot about that, but yeah, no, I think she's being a ridiculous brat.
How about you, moderator? What do you say?
I wrote down notes because even though I wasn't arguing, I still had deep feelings about this.
Mhm.
Yes.
Chloe is way too entitled.
Yes.
Way too entitled.
She's only there temporary anyway. She's only there just while she's getting her degree, and then she's gonna get out anyway. So what does it matter to her if her sister is starting out and she's already almost done? But I also wrote down here, Rachel had a good point.
Mm-hmm.
What if they didn't get along before?
Yeah,
And
that's a very
good
good point.
Yeah, I have 3 brothers, and I love my brothers, but I will say I will have an easier time living with some over the other. You know, and it's just there's a clash in personalities. So I totally get the thing of not getting along. And so that I can, okay, if that would have been the thing, then okay, I would have given Chloe that. But like Rachel said, she's not even complaining like, oh, we can't stop fighting, we can't this. No,
Right.
she's saying that she can't watch TV loud. Her room is messy. What does it matter to you about her room? That's you both are adults. You shouldn't even be in her room anyway. So what does it matter to you how she keeps it?
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
I know.
She's just literally looking for reasons just to try to get her kicked out. And I want to address the part where she just severely just disrespected her mother
Yes, I was
after
just
she
thinking about
provided
that.
housing for her and
Yeah.
Right.
paying the bills for her.
Right. To scream
So
at her over
yeah,
this. It's
and
like, girl,
yeah, the
go
poster
away.
has a lot of patience, because I would be like, you know what, you don't like it, you can get out. I would have been a lot meaner than her, than the poster.
Yeah, because at least the mom said, if you don't like it, then you can get out.
Yeah. I'd be
Yep.
like, no, if you talk to me like that one more time, you're going to call me one more time. And if you don't call me back or you hang up on me again, I'm going to hang up on you out of the house.
Mhm.
You know?
My parents pulled that pulled that pulled that on me all the time.
Words are hard,
Where-
guys.
They are. Where I was like at 18, not paying for anything, doing nothing, and I was complaining about stuff, and they'd be like, "Well, if you don't like it, then you can move out, you can get your own car, whatever." And that shut me up real fast because I was
Yeah.
like, "Oh, I can't do that." So never mind.
So, all right. So that's enough for that one. So let's go ahead and move on to the next story, the last story. And Rachel, you want to take it away?
I have to say I personally love this story, but you'll find out why in a second.
I'm nervous now.
Am I the a-hole for leaving my girlfriend behind because she was taking too long to get ready? Okay. I, a 24-year-old female, have a girlfriend, Hannah, quote unquote, 26-year-old female. Hannah's not her real name.
Yeah,
We
I was
were-
gonna say when she
Yeah.
says quote unquote, it's because the poster changed the name of the girlfriend.
The
Yeah.
actual name, because they
Her
don't want
name
to
is-
reveal their actual identities.
Yeah.
Her name is Shanna. Just kidding.
And they just drop the S.
Yeah. We were friends in college and reconnected and have been dating for around 7 months. A few days ago, it was my cousin's wedding and everyone was allowed a +1, including myself. I asked, I almost said Shanna. I asked Hannah in advance if she wanted to go with me and she agreed. She's a huge social butterfly and loves big events. The venue is around a 2-hour drive from my home, so I made it clear to Hannah that we need to leave in plenty of time to not be late. The ceremony started at 2 p.m., so I said we should aim to leave a little after 11 a.m. to allow for traffic and stop on the way if we need to. Hannah is super into makeup and hair, and she was taking a very long time to get ready. When 10:30 a.m. rolled around, I gently reminded Hannah that we need to leave soon in order to get there on time. She told me she was nearly done and not to worry. 11:50 a.m. rolls around, and Hannah doesn't look anywhere near ready. I tell her that we really need to leave soon and reminded her of what time it is. Hannah told me to chill and that she's nearly ready. Once it reached 11 a.m., Hannah still wasn't ready. I told her that we need to leave ASAP. Hannah told me to calm down and that she's nearly ready, as she wasn't even dressed yet. That had 2 exclamation points. I started getting panicky and told Hannah to please hurry up. Hannah got mad and said that she's told me, these writers, she told me she's nearly ready. By the time it was 11:20 a.m., Shanna still wasn't ready. I got really annoyed and told Hannah, I intentionally changed it to Shanna.
Okay.
That
You're
was
like, it's okay.
intentional. Yeah.
Trust me, we know
No
what-
one laughed, so I thought I had to explain my joke. Okay. I got really annoyed and told Hannah if she's not ready in 10 minutes, I'm leaving without her. I don't think she believed me. She just laughed and told me I'm being silly. I ended up leaving without her because by 11:30 she was still in her PJs. I managed to get to the wedding on time, and it was great. After the ceremony, I noticed that Hannah had been blowing up my phone. I called her back, and she immediately started screaming at me and said that I'm obsessed with being ridiculously early to things and said that I need to be more understanding and that if I waited 5 minutes, she would have been ready. Would have put on her dress in that time. She said I'm a selfish jerk and need to evaluate my priorities. I wasn't able to get any word in before Hannah hung up the phone. Since then, Shanna has been ignoring me, and I'm wondering if I was in the wrong.
First of all, before we continue, I have to say for that reading and the enunciation of everything.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Like I said, I took a personal interest in this story. And we'll see what side I get.
Okay, so moderator, you want to go ahead and take it away for this one?
Okay, let's go ahead and do the flip. And Rachel, you get heads.
Oh. Thank God. Thank God.
Wait, so I got
go ballistic. Okay.
You, Tukey, you have to defend Hannah.
Oh, jeez, no, Shanna.
Shanna.
Shanna, the Shanna.
That's what we call her when she's making us mad.
Yep.
Yeah, she's gonna be Shanna forever Shanna.
Even people that have nothing to do with the story, if their name is Hannah, we're just gonna call them Shanna.
Shanna. Yeah, you're being a real Shanna right now.
Yeah. Poster, if you hear this, just call her Shanna from now on. You'll be fine.
Yep.
Yeah. What if her name was actually Shanna, though?
That would be hilarious.
Like, you really did a good job disguising your name.
I would tell the poster, you got to try harder next time, because.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So, Rach, whenever you're ready.
All right. I mean, where do I start? First of all, this poster, I feel, was more than patient with Shanna getting ready. I mean, she gave Shanna the notice saying, hey, this is when we gotta go, this is when we have to leave. And even when it was getting close, like, she didn't wait until 11 o'clock. She was like, hey, it's kind of close. Are you going to be ready soon? And Shanna just had no chill and was like, oh, I'm going to be ready.
No
when she clearly wasn't. Like, the amount of times that Shanna was like, chill out, I'm going to be ready, then clearly was not ready, that was too much for me. And the poster set very firm boundaries around this, saying, look, like, we needed to leave 30 minutes ago. If this is your last chance, I would even maybe, like, well, no, I'm not going to say that because that might help you, actually. So she said, I'm going to hold my tongue. But she's like, this is the situation. We got to go. I told you, we had to leave at 11. It's almost 11:30. We got to go. She was very clear about that, and Shanna did not take that seriously, so Shanna got left behind and did not get to have fun at the wedding. Pretty clear cut, if you ask me.
Okay, so are you done?
For now, yes.
For now. Okay, you mentioned about how she was very patient for Hannah getting ready, right? Now, the story just mentioned that they were in a relationship for about 7 months, and the fact that they had to travel 2 hours leads me to believe that the family is nowhere nearby, which leads me to also believe that Hannah has probably never met the family. So this is probably going to be her first time meeting the family, her first time meeting her cousins, and as it is, the poster already told us that she's a bit of a control freak when it comes to her makeup. She's like obsessed with makeup and all this other stuff. So when you really think of the full-blown story of this, she was probably just taking her time getting ready, or not taking her time, but really going all out as far as makeup, everything in terms of looking good, because she wanted to look presentable for her girlfriend. She wants to be there to support her girlfriend for her cousin's wedding. So yeah, she might have been taking a little bit long, but she was ultimately doing it with the right intentions of making the poster look good in front of her family. And like I said, considering how much of a distance it was, that tells me pretty much that she probably hasn't met that side of the family yet. Also, the poster could have asked her, like, hey, do you need help with anything? Because she never helped her with anything. I mean, when you're in a relationship, it's a give and take deal. So if the poster didn't take that much time doing her makeup, Maybe she didn't want to look as presentable as Hannah. Cut that part out. Sorry, cut that part out. That's too much
No,
of a
leave it in.
that's too much of a douchey thing to say. That's not me.
Oh, it is you.
I'm, off camera, it is, yes. But I mean, the poster could have helped her.
Want to look more ugly? I don't know.
But I mean, what if the poster could have offered some help? Like, hey, do you need help with this? Do you want me? What clothes you're gonna wear? Maybe I can set it for you on the bed. A little help, because what if Hannah's not from the area? She doesn't understand the concept of how long it's really gonna take to get there. When all in reality was her intention was to say, hey, I'm gonna look as good as I can to make my girlfriend look good in front of her family.
I do not accept anything that you just said. For one, I can respect, wanting to look good and get ready, especially if you're like super into makeup. That's fine. But, and you know what? I'm going to do a throwback to something that Diamond said on a previous episode.
Oh, geez.
If you know that is what is important to you, like if you know, okay, I got to do my makeup, I got to do my hair, and you know that you have to leave at a certain time because it takes 2 hours to get there, then you count backwards to figure out and account how much time you need in order to get ready. And if she is so into like makeup and hair, she should know what that time frame is. And if you're like a little bit late, like maybe, I don't know, sometimes things just don't go according to plan when you're putting on hair and makeup, and it takes a little bit longer to get ready and you're like, oh, I'm running late. But like, she wasn't 5 minutes over, she wasn't 10 minutes over, like we were getting to 30 minutes past the point that they were supposed to leave. That is excessive. That is ridiculous. To the point where she was in pajamas. Like, when I'm running late after getting ready, I'm at least like a little bit close where I'm like putting on my dress or whatever. Like I'm doing the final touches. But she was just like extremely not even close to being ready to go. And she could have done her makeup in the car. I was almost gonna swear. For heaven's sake, it's a 2-hour car ride. That's plenty of time to like work on your makeup, do those finishing touches. This is just like, just ridiculous, in my opinion.
Well, it also does say that she's very big into makeup and stuff like that. So I'm assuming she probably has a pretty decent sized kit that she probably won't be able to carry into in the car. But it's interesting you say about the thing about the pajamas part, where she took so long to not get her clothes ready, because Diamond, and this is where Diamond's gonna get sold out now. Diamond will do everything but her clothes first. Okay, her clothes is the last thing she does because she knows she throws it on pretty quick. Prior to that, everything else she starts getting ready 3 weeks before. Because she just takes that long, right? And the funny thing is, right when we're getting ready to leave,
foundation one day.
Yeah, exactly. And all she's doing Shanna is just doing it out of love. She's doing it out of like, hey, I want to make you look good. I want to be my best, so that way I can be with you and show your family like, hey, look, I am here supporting my girlfriend, and I'm looking my best, being my best for her, because I want to support you, I want to support your family, and it says right there she wanted to bring her along too, because she's she's a social butterfly, so she loves to socialize, so she wants to look good for the whole wedding scenery. And like I mentioned, the clothes might have been a last minute thing, because Diamond's the same way. She gets everything ready, and I'm over here like, okay, I start calculating more or less how long Diamond's gonna be ready. I'm like, she'll be ready in about 5 minutes, and then I'll throw on my clothes real quick.
Okay, so let me ask you this: if they were late to this wedding, because the plan was to leave at 11, Shanna was still getting ready at 11:30. I mean, honestly, who knows how much longer Shanna needed to get ready? Like, it seems like it wasn't even close at that point. So if they were late to this cousin's wedding, you think the response would be, oh my gosh, but you look so good. It was worth it. We're so glad that you were late because you look great. It looks like you really took an extra hour to get ready, and it was worth it. Like, that was your argument just now.
Well, it doesn't mention
Are you
if the
good with
post.
Okay.
It doesn't mention if the poster was in the wedding, right? And it's a wedding. Everybody shows up late. I mean, we were having people show up right when we were getting ready to say the I do part. So it is a wedding. And
I'm gonna throw it back to another episode that you guys had where you were like, the wedding starts on time. It doesn't matter who's there and if they're waiting for whoever, like, that wedding starts on time.
I'm tapping out. I'm tapping out. Hey, I held off for 8 minutes. I just want to
You
point that out
did.
there.
You
I held
did.
off
I
for
mean,
8
you
minutes.
did better. I had no defense for Shanna, so I was thrilled that I did not have to do that.
I held off for 8 minutes. I'm like, oh my god. I'm like,
I give you credit. You did a lot better
Yeah.
than I thought you would have.
I did
That
a
was
lot
great.
better than I thought I would have.
Because, like, honestly, I like me. If it were me, I would have had no defense.
Yeah.
I think one of the things that I was thinking of that I was like, I'm not going to say that because it might help you,
Mhm.
was you know what? I forgot. I completely forgot. Never mind.
I'm telling you, it's like when you read these stories ahead of time, like because we're getting prepared for the actual debate, and
Yeah.
you actually start to get on the show, it's every defense you've prepared, like it flies out of your head.
Yeah.
It flies out of your
And
head,
this
and
it was like a thought that popped in my brain, but I was like, nope, that goes against what I'm trying to say, so I'm not even gonna. I was like
Mhm.
debating with myself in my brain, but I
Yep.
forgot it.
and for me, it's like my one brain cell is like trying to hold on to that thought for dear life.
Yeah.
So, what are the honest opinions on both of you?
Go ahead, you
Oh,
read it.
I mean, I'm very anti Shanna. It's just so. I mean, the thing that floored me, I think, was for her to be like, chill. I'm almost ready. Chill out. When it's like you're clearly not almost ready, given that we're so we're so late
Yeah,
at this
yeah.
point. But one thing that I will say, like, her Shanna was freaking out about, her always wanting to like leave and get there on time. And if she left at like 11:30 but still got to the wedding on time, she probably didn't really need to leave that early. So maybe Shanna does have a point that maybe it was maybe a little excessive, but that's not the point. I don't know. It's like if you have to leave at a certain time,
Like, what
then
does the
you get ready
GPS
at a
really
certain
say?
time. What?
So like, what does the GPS really say? Like, how long it'll get there? Is a poster being, wants to be there like an hour early, or
Right.
yeah,
Exactly.
yeah, but
But like I like to be places early. It drives
Mhm.
me so I can understand it drives me insane when I have like a plan to leave by a certain time and that's not
Mhm.
being followed. I
Mhm.
almost lost my mind when I went to Disney with my parents because I was like, okay, we're gonna leave by this time, and like the time that we were supposed to leave, I was just sitting there ready to go, and they were all getting ready. I almost blew up, and then like I had to go to a wedding one time, and an ex-boyfriend like didn't even have a shirt before, and he like that caused us to be late. It's very upsetting to me, so I really
I'm right there with
I do
you.
not like
Yeah,
Shanna.
yeah. No, I side with the poster also guaranteed because there's no reason. I mean, it was moving into like what 45 minutes that it was taking her to get ready and put all her makeup on and everything.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so like 45 minutes, and you're trying to be there with your family at their wedding. It's a big deal.
Yeah,
It's a big
right.
event. It's not like just like a little family dinner or anything like that. It's a family dinner. Okay, I get it. You're gonna be a little bit late. Big deal. But a
It's a
wedding,
wedding.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's a wedding. You don't get to see that again. You
Yeah.
don't get to see
Right.
them, get say their vows to each other. You don't get to see the I do again, the kiss, whatever the case may be. But you don't get to see that again. So I don't blame the poster at all for this.
No. No. I would have left Shanna in the dust as well. Like, have fun getting ready.
Yeah,
Bye.
I'll see you over there on the other side.
Yeah.
I 100% am on the side of the poster. And I've made this well known on the podcast that I always calculate how much time I have Okay, if we have to be here at this time, I want to be there 10 minutes early, so that means we have to be there by this time. If we have to be there by this time, which means I need to be ready 5 minutes before,
Hmm.
so I need to be
Yes.
ready by this time. I always do my calculations and I count backwards.
Yes.
So, especially if it's a wedding.
You know what? I just had an epiphany right now.
What?
That makes so much more sense.
What?
You said you make calculations. I know what your math looks like. So that's why you start getting ready so much early. So early. So much early.
So much early.
So much early.
All the early.
All the early evers.
But no,
Wait.
what I'm saying is that
Sorry.
I'm like Rachel. I hate being, especially if we have
Yeah.
an appointment with somebody or if it's a wedding, things like that. It bothers me to be late because what if they're late, then okay, I'm not gonna make a big deal about it. I just hate me being late.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And for Shanna to have the nerve to get mad when she was told, I want to leave early to be there on time. What if the poster and their cousin are super close? And what if it's not even like a cousin relationship? What if they have a relationship that's like siblings? That's
Yeah.
something that you don't want to miss. And she has the nerve to get upset and say, I'm almost ready. When it's already half an hour after it's the time that they said that they were going to leave. Then no, that's
Yeah,
absolutely wrong.
Absolutely not. No,
Yeah.
I agree.
100%. 100% agree with that. She's absolutely dead wrong for that. So Rachel, I just want to say thank you so much for being a guest on our podcast, and hopefully, I'm saying hopefully this is not the last time, and we'll see you again pretty soon on our podcast. We was really enjoy. You know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Having you on our
Thank you, thank
podcast.
you. Thank you for having me. It was a lot of fun.
Awesome, and we look forward to having you again on the podcast.
For sure. Yeah. Happy to
I
come
love
back
you, Rachel,
anytime.
and thank you so much for
Thanks.
coming on.
Love you guys too. Thank you. Bye.
No, don't hang up yet. Don't hang because we
No,
need
I'm not.
Okay,
I'm
okay,
just
okay.
saying.
She's
yeah.
saying bye to the listeners.
Oh,
What's
okay.
wrong with you?
Bye. Bye, listeners.
I'm like, no, we gotta process the audio.
No.
She goes to hang up. I'm like, oh crap, we gotta do that all over again.
Oh no. No. I was just saying, bye for the recording.
Gotcha,
Yes.
gotcha.
Yeah.
All right, so well, everybody, that was a wrap for today. Go ahead, let us know what your thoughts are and your arguments on who do you think is in the wrong and who you think is in the right. And don't forget to write to us on either YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and all the social medias ever. Let us know your thoughts are on who won on each argument. If there's a story you'd like us to read or even feature a story that happened to you or a situation in which you currently find yourself in, please email us at ohsojudgy@gmail.com. Don't worry, we'll keep your names and the scenario discreet. Until next time, judges.
You be the judge right now. You can be the judge right now. You be the judge.
Here comes the judge.
You be the judge right now.